Your first look at high school football scores and highlights. This is First Down Friday Night. Sponsored by your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, Whataburger, and B2 EDI.
High school football is back once again for another great week, and we're ready to bring you all the highlights right here on the Week 3 edition of First Down Friday Night. I'm Mo, she's Naomi, and of course, we've got Jonah Carp. He's around here somewhere, but Naomi, tell us what's on tap tonight.
So region play is starting to warm up, and a lot of our teams are trying to get the early momentum in their respective leagues.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at some of the exciting matchups in just a moment, but first, let's check in with our very own Jonah Carp. He's got a quick look at our varsity game of the week.
Hey guys, here's a riddle for you. What do you get when one Wildcat faces off against another Wildcat? Either a revival of the High School Musical franchise, or you get West Limestone versus Central Florence, a battle of two unbeatens. That's our varsity game of the week, coming up later in the show, guys.
Thank you, Jonah. Only 3 teams in Region 8 of Class 5A have a victory. One of them is East Limestone. Last week, the team picked up a 10-point home win against Lee. Tonight, they made their way to Huntsville looking for win number 2. East Limestone taking on the winless Mae Jemison Jaguars at Milton Frank Stadium. Jaguars defense came out supercharged. Quarterback Brenton Abernathy keeps it up the middle and gets packed between a solid Jaguars line for no gain. East Limestone will eventually find its way down the field. Armathy hands it off to our MVP of the week, Fortune Wheeler, and of course he makes his way right into the end zone for the early lead. Kick will be good, and it'll be 7-0 East Limestone. But it's time for the Jaguars to show improve. Quarterback Kel Woods delivers a signal, and it'll be the design QB run down the sidelines. He gets knocked out of bounds just a hair short of the end zone. Let me tell you, that boy right there, he's a runner. Couple plays later, and it's go time. Woods hands it off to Cameron Montgomery. He'd go right up the middle, and he'd get buried in the pile, but he is well in for the Jaguars 6. Extra kick will be no good, 7-6 EL up. Ensuing drive, a few penalties cost East Limestone. Brent Anthony can't find an open man, so he takes a horizontal run down the line of scrimmage and gets forced out the pocket by that aggressive Jaguars defense.
How many yards did he run on that play?
Listen, who knows? East Limestone wouldn't recover on that drive, and the Jaguars get the ball here, and it's Cameron Montgomery up the gut for the score. They'll take a 12-6 lead, but things will turn out not how we expected it, at least for me. East Limestone went on to win by a final of 14-12 despite Mae Jemison leading the majority of that second half. Next week, East Limestone takes on Brewer. Mae Jemison will take on city rival Lee. Off to Jones Valley now. The Randolph Raiders looking for a 2-0 start in region play as they host New Hope. And it wouldn't be a tough feat to accomplish. Second quarter, Raiders up 23-zip. And there goes quarterback Wyatt Bolden. He wasn't protected. He gets chased out of the pocket by Raiders DB Graham Bately. He gets him right where he needs him for the sack. And later, they'll be in great field position. Quarterback Andrew Hunter with the handoff to his right-hand man, David Clowery, who breaks out left and somehow splits 2 sets of defenders before being taken down inside the 10.
That's a nice vision on his running right there.
Absolutely. A couple plays later, Clowery lined up on the left this time. He'll cross right and find an open path right through New Hope and into the end zone. Score is good for another 6. Raiders' 5th touchdown in 2 quarters. They were up 30-0 at the half. And they'll get the job done with the 43-13 final over New Hope next week. New Hope is taking off against St. John Paul, and Randolph will be against Madison County.
All right, boys and girls, let's move up to Class 7A, where they say the big boys play. Bob Jones and Huntsville, they faced arch rivals in Week 2, and they both lost. So tonight, both the Patriots and the Panthers were looking for a bounce-back win. Good crowd on hand at Madison City School Stadium. Patriots down 14-12, and Rashawn Hardy with the double reverse pass. They just went into the bag of tricks, drove it down the field, a wide-open Brody Cooper. He literally could have walked into the end zone. for a score. Extra point, no good, only 18-14. Back comes Huntsville. Jax McClung, he's under pressure, but he dumped it off to Carlin Long, and watch Mr. Long go for a long run. Cutting it back up the field, and number 1 has some fun as he gets into the end zone right here. As his extra point was actually good, that made it 21-18 as Coach Kevin White looks on. Back and forth we go. It's Rashawn Hardy calling his own number, and he will find a way to scoot into the end zone for a score right there. Bob Jones back on top, 25-21. Now, right before the half, Huntsville will cap off a long drive with a TD pass right here as McClung goes to Jeremiah Lovelace in the back of the end zone. This game was 42-31 at the half, Naomi. And as a matter of fact, right now, they're still playing out there in Madison right now. Huntsville leads 49-38 over Bob Jones. Like we did last week, we'll give you an update on how this game folds out near the end of our show. All right, let's go on and stay in Class 7A. Sparkman taking on the Grissom Tigers. And, of course, the Senators, they want to come out with a big bang. Luke Scrumberg finds a wide open Matthew Rozier in the flats, and number 2 will scoot it all the way down into the red zone. On the following play, it'll be Scrumberg stays to the right and finds Carmelo Montgomery in the end zone. With a name like Carmelo, you know he's going to sky high to grab that touchdown right there. Extra point was good. Sparkman up 7-0. Late in the first quarter, Sparkman, they're forced to punt, and the Tigers will muff the punt. And I think I'm a little ahead of myself right there because there's the extra point. Here comes the punt. Special teams always coming through, and Tigers, they muff the punt. It's recovered by Justin Cotto, and that'll set up great field position for the Senators. And we know the other Coach White is happy about that. After a penalty, it'll be Scrumberg handed off to Daniel, who go right up the gut, untouched. 13-0 at the end of the first quarter. Let's check out your final from the land of the Senators as they go on to spank Grissom by final 46-0. Next week, Grissom's got Albertville, while Sparkman, they'll take on Austin. Here's another 7A game from Thursday night. James Clemens playing host to Austin in that 7A Region 4 battle. Scoreless in the first quarter. Black Bears, they're pinned deep inside their territory. A bad snap rolls past De'Aaron Young and through the back of the end zone for a safety. So it's 2-0 as the band plays on. Austin, they are struggling on offense. Watch this pass go right into the arms of Jamal Meredith. He's like, look what I just found right here. We'll speed it up, and here goes across the field, but he'll be rocked right here by Nicholas Creighton. However, he would get up, so that is a good sign. James Clemens, they couldn't capitalize, so let's go to the second. Handoff goes to Tyler Cooper, no space on the left. Jukes back right for Austin, and he will take it to the house right there, putting the Jets on the Jets right there. As you see, they go up 7-2 in this wild early game. Next drive, just trying to answer. Giovanni Lopez, he's flushed out the pocket. Somehow he throws this ball up. I don't know how he does because he has 3 men in front of him, and he finds a wide open Kamari Pittman for a touchdown. James Clemens back on top, 8-7. Now the Jets, they opt for the 2-point conversion. So let's check out Mr. Lopez. Watch as he rolls to the left and then throws it back to the right side. And he finds Gabriel Ballard in the end zone for the 2-point conversion, 10-7. Quickly, let's go to the second half. It's all about Dante Snodgrass as the Jets running back will bounce it outside, and he will score from 23 yards out. He had not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns on the night, Naomi. He had the trifecta. Let's check out your final scores. James Clemens goes on to win by a final 31-14. Next week, James Clemens, they've got Huntsville, while Austin will play host to Sparkman.
Wow, James Clemens is going to be a team to stop, so I feel bad for whoever's on their schedule. But, of course, the WZDX sports team is on social media. Mo Carter at WZDX, Naomi, WZDX, Jonah at WZDX. Send us a tweet. We may read it on air later. And we're going to go ahead and head to a break. Next up, we're going up north for our battle of the undefeated Wildcats. Our Jonah Karp has our varsity game of the week just ahead.
Hey, Big Waltz here. Being the best to ever do it does not mean you have to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Being the best to ever do it, it's all about you. B2 EDI is not just another clothing brand. It's a statement that says you know the best is within you and you are committed to being the best every day. Be the best to ever do it begins with you. A portion of every B2 EDI apparel purchase will go to support a local nonprofit, including the House of the Harvest. Go to B2EDI.com and be the difference maker today. If you're going to be the best, make sure you wear it across your chest.
Now back to the action on First Down Friday night.
Welcome back. There's a four-way tie for first place in Region A of Class 4A, and two of those teams went head-to-head tonight in the northern part of the viewing area.
That's absolutely right. The game, along with another key matchup, were captured by our very own Jonah Karp this evening. He joins us live with more of his fantastic games. And Jonah, we can see you even though there's no lights behind you.
Tonight at West Limestone, the Wildcats playing host to Central Florence. We've got an old-fashioned Spider-Man meme tonight for our varsity game of the week. All right, here we go. West Limestone and Central Florence. The Wildcats. Oh, look at that sportsmanship. Oh, that one not so much. No score in the first quarter. Carson Brewer on the run, floats it. Brody Montgomery makes the grab in stride, and oh, look at the footwork. Tiptoes the sideline, stumbling, stays on his feet, down inside the red zone. Visiting Wildcats trying to build off that with points. Jaden Smith plunges forward with the score. Central Florence on the board first. What do we have? We have a cat fight. Next drive, West Limestone looking for an answer. Colin Patterson, quick toss to Cooper Phillips. All kinds of room for him to operate. All the way down inside the 20. A couple plays later, Patterson gives it to Dakota Wilson. Wide open gap. Money. Here's the final from Leicester. Let's take a field trip about 20 minutes up the road. Athens and Hazel Green. Golden Eagles already up 16-7 midway through the second quarter, trying to tack on more. Jaden Jude hands it to Dylan Roper, and he does the rest. Look at him switch sides of the field. Amazing. Wasn't even his most impressive run of the night. Just wait for that one. Athens up by 3 scores, and they have the ball back. Jude, design QB run, just glides past everybody. Untouchable. And the Golden Eagles just kept piling it on. Here's that run from Roper I mentioned earlier. I'll just sit back and let you guys appreciate this. I mean, what? That's just ridiculous. And Athens wasn't done there. Brogan Gross in at quarterback. Rainbow. Oh, that's Jude. A one-handed grab, quarterback to quarterback connection. Everything I just showed you all took place in the final 7 minutes of the second quarter. So the final score from Athens, Golden Eagles win 56-7. Here's the slate for next week. Golden Eagles back home to face Muscle Shoals. Trojans home against Coleman. Meanwhile, Central Florence is home against Rogers. And West Limestone continues their stretch of home games. They're second in 4 in a row against West Morgan next week. No place like home. That's what's on tap for next week, guys.
All right, Jonah, thank you so much. Last night, Decatur Heritage was supposed to play Vina, but the Red Devils had to forfeit due to COVID-19. So the Eagles picked up the W in the process. Decatur Heritage will host Shoals Christian next week. And moving on now, we saw a little from our First Down Friday night MVP of the week earlier in the show. But after the break, we'll take a closer look at what he's accomplished so far this season. Stay with us. Welcome back. Each week we bring you coverage from all the high school football games in North Alabama. We also recognize one player that stands out from the rest. Here's Jonah Karp with our Week 2 MVP.
East Limestone defeated Lee Huntsville last week, 24-14. A big reason why? This guy, Fortune Wheeler.
He did a real good job the other night, I thought. The statistics show, but they really don't show how hard he ran, because he really ran the ball hard the other night.
Wheeler racked up 296 rushing yards and scored all 3 touchdowns in the victory, earning him the latest First Down Friday night MVP award, brought to you by Whataburger.
I know he's humble. He wanted to give accolades out to his offensive linemen and talk about them and how well they did.
I just want to thank the linemen. They did great blocking. I just took advantage of those opportunities they did by blocking great that night.
He made a lot of people miss him too, and that's what we ask our running backs to do. They need to make people miss too. We can't block everybody. You'd like to have everybody blocked on every play, but it don't happen like that. That's why he's called a running back.
So what is it that makes Wheeler so successful on the football field?
He's got everything. He's fast. He's got good hands. he's tough, he's durable. He'll play hurt. He'll play a little bit beat up, and just an overall good football player. We have to play him both ways. If I played him only one way, he really would be something special. So I think he's really got a chance, to move on to the next level. He just needs to keep working.
Congratulations to Fortune Wheeler and East Limestone on the win and a tremendous accomplishment. In Huntsville, Jonah Cart, Fox 54 Sports.
Thank you, Jonah. Nominations are now open. Just send us an email at news@rocketcitynow.com, or you can head to the MVP section on the sports page of rocketcitynow.com.
It's a very simple process. We need the player's name, school, position, and the most important thing, Naomi, the stats from last week's game. This award is sponsored by Whataburger.
Let's move along now. Under the lights of Discovery Middle School is where we find St. John Paul II. They hosted Madison County tonight. Tigers up 14-0 when Brogan West goes through the line untouched for a 30-yard touchdown. Extra point good. Tigers up 21-0. He looks pretty hefty there. Glad he got it in there. And the Tiger cheerleaders have a lot to cheer about tonight. Falcons on offense. Luke Mayo has no time to throw the ball. He's thrown down in the backfield by Gavin Byers. The Falcons are later forced to punt. And guess what? It's blocked by Case Watson. He scoops it up and returns it down to the red zone. Tigers capitalize, and Cameron Mitchell takes it to the house for a score. 28-0 at that point, and Madison County goes on to win by a final of 42-14. Just another blowout for this week. Next week, Madison County takes off against Randolph, and then St. John Paul will travel to New Hope.
Right down the road, Madison Academy hosting Westminster Christian. We will pick things up in the first quarter. Madison Academy quarterback Carson Crehan throws the swing pass to Jalen Holmes. This is a third down play, and he picks up enough for a first down, and let's move those chains. Now the drive would stall, and that would lead to this. Ian Vachon, 40-yard field goal. It is up, and it is good. He could have made that from 50 yards right there, Naomi. 3-0 Mustangs on top. Westminster Christian not finding much success on the offense. Henry Claunch is tackled on a third down play by Tim Spurlock. They will have to punt right after that. Very next possession, it's Crehan going back to work, throwing it deep down the field. Look at this rainbow to Jalen Holmes, the big catch and the big gain. So that will set up this as Madison Academy, as Coach Louis LeBlanc looks on for Westminster Christian. They get it over to William Stokes, and look at the speed on the sweep. Watch him just cut it back, put on the extra jets, and walk into the end zone. 10-0 at that point. Let's check out your final from the land of the Mustangs. They go on to win by a final of 52-14 over Westminster Christian. Next week, Westminster Christian takes on DAR. Madison Academy, they'll take on North Jackson.
And sit tight, we got one more round of action coming your way after the break. Plus, we crown our B2EDI Offensive Lineman of the Week. More on him just ahead.
When it comes to opening holes for the running backs and protecting the quarterback from the opposing defense, one of the best units for the job is the offensive front at Buckhorn High School. And the leader of that unit is Austin Henderson.
Austin and the other four guys up front, they do a lot of good work, and they work together. Austin communicates with a lot of them and gets them right and coaches them up. Like I said, he's a leader on and off the field, and a big main cog of our offensive line.
Standing at 6'1" and weighing nearly 300 pounds, Henderson is a guy who makes a huge difference in the Buckhorn offense. And when the offense finds success on the ground or through the air, Austin is always glad to see the positive results.
A big run break, so the quarterback throws for a deep one. It makes us feel good, really good. You can see on my tape or whatever, I always do a little celebration when I see my running back running. I like it.
The combination of Henderson's hard work on the field along with his work among the youth at Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church made him a worthy candidate for the Walter Jones Best to Ever Do It Offensive Lineman of the Week.
They bought into our mantra of attitude is everything, and that attitude he controls, and he does a great job of controlling it every day. And a lot of kids feed off his energy and juice every day at practice and on Friday nights under the lights.
Not only did Henderson receive gear from B2EDI, but he also got a chance to meet the man behind the franchise, Pro Football Hall of Famer Walter Jones. who also had a special message for Mr. Henderson.
Keep up the good work in your classwork. Listen to your parents, man, and listen to your coaches, man. And I'll see you in November.
I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that a lot. I feel like it just motivates me to keep going and do even more better than I am doing right now.
Congratulations, Austin, on being named this week's Walter Jones Best to Ever Do It Offensive Lineman of the Week. Continue to stay with WZDX Sports to see who we choose next.
Thank you. We'll wrap things up in Huntsville. The Tigers hosting Decatur. Tigers up 14-0 in the third, but the Red Raiders are knocking on the door. Banks Demet takes it up the gut and scores for Decatur, cutting the lead to 14-7. The back comes Huntsville. Armadale Dunnigan goes untouched up the gut for a Tigers touchdown, making it 21-27, and let's look how the game ended up. Hartselle goes on to win by a final of 42-21. Next week, Hartselle will travel to Columbia. Decatur will host Buckle.
All right, we got an update on that Bob Jones game. Rashawn Hardy just scored a touchdown under 10 seconds to go. Bob Jones on top 50-49. What a game and what a week of football. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Friday right here on WZDX Fox 54. Have a great weekend.
Sponsored by your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, Whataburger, and B2 EDI.